It always helps if you turn this thing on. Testing 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Oops, a daisy. Evening, Lewis. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. How about you? I was playing the little intro thing, and I was actually just sitting waiting to see if anyone was actually going to join in before I came on. I came on live. It's kind of bizarre. It's like it'd be like the equivalent of an actor about to go on stage, peering through the curtain to see if anybody's actually there. Evening, Mr. ZX. So yeah, how are we all doing? I don't normally do live waffles, but I don't know. I think sometimes it's a bit more interesting. I mean, it's one thing sitting at a screen and just talking, but it's always a bit more fun when you're actually doing it and there's actually people kind of watching live. Obviously, you've got the interaction which you don't normally have. So how the hell are you? How are we? I'm all right. Glad it's Friday. Not a bad week at work actually. Bloody cold though, I'll tell you. Yeah, really cold. It was kind of getting not too bad. Was it yesterday and Wednesday? Yeah, yesterday and Wednesday it was getting a wee bit. I wouldn't say warmer, but you know, it was the temperature was cold. But when the sun came out, it was actually really nice. But tonight or today, it's just absolutely bollocks cold again. You know, but anyway, we should always be used to that, especially up here in Scotland. I always actually think that the year or the months have kind of got out of sync. You'll notice that we get quite mild weather in November and December, then it seems to get really freezing cold in January, February. So what they need to do is move. Well, I don't want to have Christmas over again. What we should do is wait to June and then shift the whole calendar back 2 months, which will mean that we'll be getting cold weather in November and December, and then by the time we get to kind of January, February, it's going to warm up. That's what I think they should do. If I were Prime Minister, that's what I would do. Yeah. Excuse me a little second. So, what's been happening? Snow in March up here, really. Where are you about, ZX? You're obviously in Scotland, I'm assuming. I never actually get to know where people are from. So where are you about? And Lewis, what about yourself? I think, well, in fact, I know where you used to. I can't remember because the reason Lewis and I know each other was because I sold Lewis some I don't even remember what I sold. What did I sell you again? I can't remember. Was it a Dreamcast or did I buy stuff off you? Coat Bridge. Ah, right, okay. I'm very familiar with that place. I used to kind of work through in Lanarkshire, through in Bells Hill. There's not many Scottish YouTubers, I don't think. Well, there are some which are way bigger than myself. That's right, Mega Drive cartridges. So have you got yourself a Mega Drive Mini yet, Lewis? I've been hearing lots of good things about them. I've actually got one myself. They are really nice. I was watching Lon Boy's post video about he's hacked his Mega Drive Mini. I don't know if you need a special memory card or something to do it, but it does look quite easy. Yeah, you know what? I'm the same. Big Clive, that's right. I've not watched him for a long time actually. Yeah, he basically takes things to bits. Yeah, typical Scotsman. We like to dismantle things. Actually, I was one of the girls that I work with. Believe it or not, she got home from work last week. How you doing, Steve? Yeah, things are a lot better, buddy. I don't mind saying that. It's a lot better. It got better last week, and it's got even better this week as well. Still not out of the woods yet, mate, but definitely a lot happier. Anyway, yeah, this girl, she parked her car. She got home from work, parked her car, and she went out the following morning, and the entire front of her car, the bumper, the bonnet, the wings had been stripped. Somebody or some buddies had actually gone out and basically dismantled their car and stole bits from it. And one of the guys, I've got a mechanic that he works next door to me, and he was telling me that apparently it is a thing where people will they'll have like their own, say, Ford Transit. Evening, Milestar. I don't know why I'm shouting. You can hear me perfectly fine. Yeah, people will hire a van and then strip bits. Like they'll take the exhaust off it, they'll take the gearbox, and they'll strip bits and put it in, and then they'll take back the van. I've got to say, I was slightly guilty of that. Not with cars. Probably my least proud moment. It was back in when would it be, 1990? Sorry, I'm just reading what Aero. I'll need to get this right. Aero Dion Thorn. That's a really nice name. I'm lucky I drive a Kia Rio. Nobody wants one of them, and they're basically left alone. Thanks for joining me, buddy. Where are you from, and what? Interested to know where is that avatar name from. Almost interested to know where these things come from. Anyway, what am I talking about? Yeah, my moment of shame. It was I was an early adopter of the Sony PlayStation. I bought it brand new. Got it from Toys R Us. I can't remember how much I paid for it. It was like £400. What did I get with it? I bought what was this? Destruction Derby. That was the only game I had with it. So it was a lot of money. I mean, serious money. And within about, I don't know, within a couple of months, so Durham, nice part of the world. Got a lot of friends down that neck of the woods actually. Used to go down to Durham quite a lot. In fact, I was down, where was I? I was down at Concert on, when was I doing Concert? I was going to Concert last Saturday. Spectrum next games, right? We'll come on to that in a second. What was I talking about? Yeah, my moment of shame. So I'm doing a Billy Connolly. I get distracted. Evening, Alan. I get distracted very easily. Yeah, my moment of shame, and I think I might have mentioned this to Alan before. I just bought the PlayStation, and I don't know how old it was. I hadn't had it very long. I've been to Stanley as well, actually. Anyway, stop distracting me. Anyway, my moment of shame. I'd bought this PlayStation, and the laser started playing up. Now, what you had to do with that was you had to turn the PlayStation upside down, because basically the laser would like move up, and what would happen is it would gradually fall down. So if you turned the thing upside down, basically gravity would effectively push the laser closer to the disc. So I did that for a while, and then I realised this is crap. So what I did was I used Argos's ridiculously generous returns policy before they changed it, probably because of me. Evening, Neil. I was actually going to get you to come up here and join in the waffle, but obviously you're there and I'm up here. So anyway, yeah, my moment of shame. So my PlayStation stopped working. It got to a point where it wouldn't read discs. So I decided, went up to Argos, and I told them, I says, look, I'm buying this for my nephew. I'm buying it for my nephew's birthday. No, I don't have any nephews. Buying it for my nephew's birthday. But there's a good chance that my wife is maybe going to pick up one as well. So if that happens, can I bring it back and get my money back? And the guy went, yeah, no problem at all, no problem at all. So, what I'd done is I'd taken my broken or my dodgy PlayStation, had it in the car, went out to the car park, drove home, and I quickly swapped the laser, put the dodgy one in, the brand new one, put the brand new one in my one, and boxed it back up. I was very careful peeling back the little stickers, etc., etc. And within an hour, I returned it to Argos, and I basically said, I was here an hour ago, and that guy over there served me, and I've explained that I bought it for a birthday present. However, my wife beat me to it, so my nephew's already got one, so can I get my money back? And the guy was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine. So, I just need to put an apology out there here and now. If you were that kid who was waiting for Christmas, did I tell you that? Maybe I did, Neil. Well, not everybody shares a car with me, mate. Anyway, so if you were that kid who was eagerly awaiting your shiny brand new Sony's PlayStation for Christmas, and you opened it up and the laser was wonky, then I apologise now. I really do. So, yeah. Anyway, that's not new material, that's a true story. And one that I am eternally ashamed about. Although I'm sure there was other kind of things like that. So, anyway, yeah, the Spectrum Next, as you probably know, if you're kind of if you're watching my channel, then you're going to be into old retro games. The Spectrum Next has been a Kickstarter for, I think it was due to come out, it was either last May or May 2018. So it's literally just been released. There was a picture that went on to Facebook a couple of days ago, somebody saying, have I got the first Spectrum Next? So it's apparently now been, was it 2018? Yeah, I thought so. So it's now going out to backers. Actually, you know what, it's been so long since excuse me, since I backed the damn thing. I actually had to check to see if I had paid for it. I couldn't actually remember whether I had still to pay for it, because it's been so long, and I had paid for it. I think it was 179 quid plus £10 postage. So I had to check to see if I'd actually paid for it, and I had. So anyway, getting back to that, so it's apparently now rolling off the production line. Don't know when I'm going to get mine. I'm assuming they'll probably send an email to tell you that it's going to be getting delivered. But £21 for a game. £21.49 for a Spectrum Next game. Ooh. You know what? First impressions or first opinions, I would say that's ridiculous. But then, you know, what you need to try and do. Yeah, I mean, nowadays people have become conditioned to either getting games completely for free, or else, you know, if you charge £4.99 for a game on Evening Jason, how you doing, buddy? I don't think we've got any ladies in at the moment. In fact, I think looking at my analytics, I think I am something like, my viewership is something like 99.8% blokes and 0.2% women. So yeah, I'm obviously not eye candy for anybody. What was I talking about? Yeah, the next. £21.49. What you need, yeah, people now expect software for free or for 99 pence, and if you charge any more than that, yeah, you by all means, Jason, you wire in, son. You can be the lady this evening. That's fine. And maybe that'll put the analytics up to 0.3 for my female watchers. People expect software for free. You know, if you charge £4.99, they'll say that's ridiculous. But when you think about it, you look at any Amiga magazine from 1992 and you were paying 24.99, 30 quid for an Amiga game, and people didn't mind paying that. People accepted it because it was a new computer and that's what you were paying. Now, £21.49 nowadays is a hell of a lot less than £21.49 back in the 90s. A lot less. So, should we complain about spending 22 quid on a Spectrum Next game? I don't know. As I said, it's unfortunate in some ways, and I've gone on about this before. These damn things have made people want things for free or for 99 pence, and then if you dare ask for any more than that, what a rip-off people think. But you've got to think about the time and effort that goes into all these into making these games. And you're saying, I mean, I'm assuming, well, yeah, 21.49 is going to be, is it tape? Or is it a digital image? It's not going to be tape. Is it disc? Well, it must be a digital image. It must be a digital image on an SD card or something, I'm assuming. But I'm assuming it's going to have a packaging, it's going to have a manual, presumably. So, you know what, I'll need to wait and see. I need to wait and see what kind of game. I mean, I don't really, considering how much a gamer I am, I don't really keep up to date with prices or anything like that at all. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, Steve. I think £10, it's a nice round sum. 25 quid or 22 quid, that is a lot. And it was like, there was a big hoo-ha, and I was kind of moaning about it a wee bit. The game, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, sorry, I mean, Jason's just mentioned Android games. I must admit, I detest playing games on my phone. If I do download the occasional game, I will always pay the 2-3 quid to get rid of adverts. I absolutely detest adverts in games. They just completely ruin the experience. What was I talking about? What the hell was it called? What was that game that came out in this? What was that game that came out? Sam's Journey, yeah. Sam's Journey that came out on the Commodore 64. It was released, I don't know, was it about a year ago? Almost a year ago. And I went to buy it, and the digital download, I believe, was it? Now, I could be wrong, don't quote me on this. It was something like 20 quid, might have been 25 quid for a digital download. Now, you could buy it on, I think you could buy it on cartridge. You could also, evening Colin, yeah, you've not missed much, buddy. Who are you talking to, Mr. Ox? Get a bloody haircut. I just do that so I don't dazzle you lot with my baldy head. What was I talking about? I've just completely forgotten what I was gibbering about. Price. We're talking about the pricey games. Sam's Journey. Yeah, it was something like 20 quid for a digital download, and I thought that was ridiculous, and I absolutely point blank refused to buy the game. And I think it was like 35 quid. I think you could get it on disc, you could get it on tape, and I believe you could also get it on cartridge. But anyway, 20 quid, say 20 quid for Sam's Journey. And I thought that was ridiculous until I actually played the game. And I've got to say, I mean, I did do a review. Well, not a review. I never do reviews. I call it a Meme Meister look at, or whatever you want to call it, or a Meme Meister 10-minute mashup. I looked at the game and I played it, And when I started off the video, I was basically criticising it for, for 20 quid for a digital download. But by the end of the video, I mean, I played it for maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes. By the end of the video, I had completely and utterly done a U-turn. I changed my mind completely, and I said it is absolutely worth it. Because, it might only be a C64 game, but the amount of time and effort that has gone into making this game justifies it. And that's the thing, like I said, going back to the phone games, people just expect things for free. And that's crap. That is absolutely crap. Yeah, so going back to this, the Spectrum Next, I'm looking forward to getting it. I've seen a few games. I mean, does anybody know the spec of the Next? I mean, somebody said to me it's kind of graphically wise. I think it's possibly similar to an Amiga, but I don't think it's got it's not got any of the, what do you call it? It's not got any like the sort of the custom processors. So it's not going to be as powerful, but it'd be interesting to know just what kind of hardware it is. 3-year-old FPGA, is that what it's going to be using? I know you can put a Raspberry Pi in it to kind of give it a turbocharge. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it. Once I do get it, I'll do my usual kind of look at video type thing. They're all crap. Will the Spectrum Next be using emulation? I don't think so, Jason. I think from what I've gathered, it's basically been built from the ground up. It's because some people, who was I talking to? Was it you, Neil? Was it you that said that? Somebody said to me, I don't see the point of it. No, I can't remember who it was. I was talking to somebody. It might have been Neil. It might have been somebody on this. I can't remember. And they said they don't. It was you, Neil. Yeah, Neil mentioned that he didn't see the point of it because it's just a Spectrum, but that's not the case. It was Paul. It was you. That's evening, Paul. How you doing, mate? Yeah, it was Paul. Paul and I went down to Arcade Club. Well, I need to mention that. I didn't even touch on that actually. Yeah, and the drive down to Arcade Club, we were talking about the Spectrum Next, and Paul said that he didn't see the point of it because it's just a glorified Spectrum. But I don't think that's the case. It's a brand new computer that's been built from the ground up, which happens to be fully compatible with the Spectrum. It's like a turbocharged. I mean, I suppose it would be like saying, I don't know, bringing out the Commodore Amiga and somebody saying, well, it's and it's fully compatible with Atari 2600. It'd be a bit like saying, well, I don't see the point of it. It's just a 2600, but it's the Next is a turbocharged Spectrum. It's like the new version of the Spectrum. So I'm looking forward to getting it. The great thing is, I mean, if I'm being honest, and it's probably a lot of people included in this, it's a brand new computer that's going to let me play Spectrum games probably until I kick the bucket. Because old computers, old Spectrums, C64s, the caps, the capacitor things, whatever it is, they're only going to have a limited shelf life. In fact, it was Neil, Stealth Banana, and myself that were talking about that last week. Apparently they've got some fluid in them and they can burst, they can explode and just rot the keyboard. So yeah, I mean, at the very least, I think the Spectrum Next is going to be a future-proof Spectrum for me. It's going to be nice to see what else they do in it. At the end of the day, like all these systems, you can flog it and get your money back. Not that I'm intending to do that at all, but anyway, yeah, looking forward to Spectrum Next. So before I forget, as I says, Paul and I went down to Arcade Club. I got up stupid early. Well, I'm up early anyway. I get up early for work, so I was actually up just about half an hour earlier. I left the house at, I think it was 5:45. drove for a couple of hours down the A68, and I was probably about 20 miles from Paul, and I had to stop and have a sort of cat nap, a 15-minute nap, because I felt really tired. Anyway, picked up Paul, drove down to Arcade Club. Didn't take too long to get there, and oh my, if you're into arcade original games, arcade club is just insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, there's Andy Day who owns it. I believe they're all his. It's a private collection. I don't know how many machines there were, but he's got the arcade club in Bury, which is it just south of Manchester, I think it is. There were 3 floors. The first floor, Paul, if I remember rightly, the first floor, it's in a kind of like an abandoned warehouse. In fact, you know what it reminds me of? If anybody ever watches Dragon's Den, it was kind of like that sort of old style. It was a bit like the book. Now I need to get this right. Not Suppository. The book Depository, where Harvey Oswald shot JFK from. It was like one of these big buildings, old kind of stone buildings. You went in, and you went up the stairs, and there was probably on the first floor. It was kind of a repository. Yeah, that's the one. It's not one of these things that goes up your bum. No. Okay. Yeah, the first floor. They had things like the basketball, throwing the basketball in. They had, what else did they have? They had some of these kind of like shooting gallery type things. There was on the back wall, there was about, I don't know how many, 6 Nintendo Wii's, or was it Switches, I think it was, on huge big TVs. 8-player, yeah, it was multi-kart, it was Mario Kart on the big TVs at the back. So that wasn't really, I think Paul and we went in there, and the first game we played, what was it called again? Solar Fox or Devil Fox? Solar Devil? What was it called? I can't remember. It was shit anyway. It was probably one of the fewest games, that I've played, and I just thought, that is Satan's Hollow. I knew it had something to do with the devil. Yeah. Evening, Robert. Yeah, Satan's Hollow. It's not the best game in the world. It's quite bizarre. Evening, how you doing, buddy? I know you did want me to do a stream drunk, but I don't think that'll ever happen. I might only ever do a stream drunk if I had somebody else in with me. I think a Scotsman being drunk on camera and talking to himself is probably very, very common, but not many people do it in front of an audience, so I don't think I'll be doing that. Anyway, getting back to Arcade Club. So the first floor was kind of mechanically games, basketball games. They weren't really what do you call it? They weren't really arcade games as such. Second floor was all kind of Japanesey stuff. There was some of the big, is it candy cabs, I think they call them, with some, like, I don't know, various shoot 'em ups, cave shoot 'em ups, I think Dodon Pachi and that kind of stuff. There was some of these weird rhythm games. I don't really get the rhythm games, and as you know, the Japanese have a really quite an odd asphyxiation, if that's the right phrase, for Japanese schoolgirls. Lots of kind of weird kind of games and that kind of stuff. So Paul and I didn't really we didn't hang around there too much. I don't recall anything else. The main floor for us was on the 3rd floor, and yeah, it was just simply awesome. I mean, Paul seemed to think there was about 250 games. I would probably agree with that. I never counted them, and I've got to say I didn't. Oh yeah, that's right. There was pinball games on the 2nd floor, but I'm not a big pinball fan. But they were really, really busy, You could hardly get onto them. But on the third floor, there was, oh, blimey, I mean, I don't know, when there was a kind of cafeteria thing. They sold hot dogs and hamburgers and that kind of stuff, and it was a bar as well. Now, because we were guests should I say, of, it was a Williams sort of special. So there was a collection of guys, a big group of guys. Paul Spriggs, one of my mates, Paul had kindly, let us, we went down there as his guests. So Paul was there, and there was quite a few other guys. My big mate Tony Temple and James, one of my other mates, they were there as well. Obviously, Paul was there, and there was a group of guys who basically are shit hot at various Williams games. There was lots of Defender games. There was Bubbles. There was Stargate. There was Robotron. Smash TV. I think that was there as well. Lots of games, and it was just insane when you see these guys playing the games. I mean, I was watching Paul playing Defender. Joust, Joust isn't a game I like at all. I used to play Joust in the C64, quite a good version of it, but I'm not a fan of it. I just don't like it. But yeah, I mean, I was watching these guys playing Defender, and they're on like 2.5 million, and their lives just go right along the top of the screen. They've got so many, Bubbles as well. That was another quite an odd game. Paul and I were saying that should really be a trackball game, but it's not. It's a joystick game. But I didn't see many people playing it. Hang on a wee second. I was going to unhide Jason's comment. We don't have any moderators in. There is a moderator, an automatic moderator thing. But I mean, I had a couple of games of Defender, and I mean, I'm shit at it. But I think I'm starting to kind of, whilst I'm not good at the game, I'm starting to, the controls feel more familiar. If you've never really played it before, it's just a brutally hard game. It's without a doubt, it's the hardest arcade game, I would say. If anybody begs to differ, I think it's safe to say that Defender is the most difficult arcade game that's ever been written, because of it's a hard game, but the fact that you've got to learn various keys just make it insane. I mean, let's have a wee look. I have got my Defender stick, which my mate Mike made for me, and it's just bloody awesome. There you go. There you've got. I'm doing this back to front. Oh, over there, up, down, and then you've got your fire, hyperspace, reverse, and basically Mike has put all these in the exact same order. So yeah, I've got no excuse at all. I keep saying this every time, but Mike Hansen absolutely makes the best arcade sticks you could ever get. Awesome. Let me know if you're interested in buying one. I mean, I don't know if you can. Can you hear that? And then the buttons, it's not the clicky buttons, it's but yeah, it's just awesome, absolutely awesome. And the fact is that the stick is only two-way, so it doesn't move left and right, because the original Defender, there we go, move it. The original Defender only has up and down. So I've got no excuse to be pish at the game, and I am going to play it. Like I said, I'm starting to kind of get more used to the controls. I just need to actually start playing it and getting better. But yeah, getting back to Arcade Club, I mean, there was, I'm not even going to attempt to name the games. There were so many. I mean, there's what I'll do, Jason, there is, in fact, let me just jump into Facebook. I've got them on Facebook. What to do, Jason? Tell them that I sent you. Please, if you don't mind, just give me one little second. I'm going to jump in just now and find him. He's on my friends list. There we go. Mike Hansen, right. hopefully I can send his copy. Well, I'll tell you, I'll just let you see. I'll let you see my other sticks. Says the bishop to the nun. I've got this one, which is just... Hang on, I'll move that so I can actually see it. Oh, hang on, I'll let you paste it. Right, hang on, how can I say something? There we go. Paste. Bunk. There we go. Right, move that over here. Yeah, this is my kind of go-to MAME stick. You can see there, it's just absolutely bloody awesome. You can hear the clickiness, goodness. All the buttons, obviously, when you plug it in, it's effectively a keyboard. So you can just assign any buttons to anything you want. And we're not finished yet. Hang on, I've also got this one, which is the dog's bollocks. That's smart. This is my Robotron, which is just absolutely superb. Listen to that clickiness, goodness. So yeah, Mike makes all of these, and there's also one more which I've got, which I can find in here, I think. Or is it in another? You know what? I can't even looking for it. I think it's in the bottom. I've also got a Donkey Kong one. Evening, Chris. I was actually Mr. Lacosa has just joined us. I messaged you, Chris, asking if you fancied taking part in a live stream, but obviously not. Well, technically you are taking part in it, but I was going to get you on camera just to have somebody to kind of talk to. But yeah, I cannot recommend Mike's sticks highly enough. Jason, did that link appear? I've pasted it, hopefully. Hopefully that works. Yeah, it should work okay. We'll need to sit down again, Chris. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch maybe tomorrow or Sunday if you fancy getting another collab video done. We've still got some cracking videos to send your way, guys. Anyway, yeah, where was I talking about? Arcade Club, but just an awesome night. So we got down there at what time? We got down there for just after, I think it was 11:30, and we just played lots of video games. And then this is when the fun started. We decided we were going to get a taxi, or what we're going to do is Paul was we decided we were all staying at the Travel Lodge, so we took the cars to the Travel Lodge, dropped them off, phoned a taxi. This guy turned up in his taxi, and we told him where we were going. We said Arcade Club, whatever it was, I can't remember, something Mill I think it was called. So the guy got to roughly where we were going. He went, "Oh, where are we going? Where are we going?" And we're like, "Well, it's such and such." We gave him the address, and he didn't know where he was going. So we said, "Look, just drop us off here." And we ended up having to walk for about 10 minutes. So we paid for a taxi, and the hotel was only 1.6 miles from the Arcade Club. We paid, I think it was £6. And yeah, we got out. So anyway, we said, "Look, just drop us off here. We'll walk the rest of the way." So I went to pay for it, handed a £20 note, and the guy's like, "Oh, have you got anything else?" I went, "It's a £20. He went, "Oh, but it's Scottish." And I went, "Really?" And so I think Paul ended up having to give me £6 to pay for it. That really annoys me. Anyway, so that was that. Got back in, had a few beers, and it got to about 7, 8 o'clock I think it was, and we were getting hungry because I think I had a hot dog. That was all I'd had to eat all day, and playing loads and loads of games. So we got to, I said to Paul, "Do you fancy going for something to eat?" And so we Using Paul's navigational skills, i.e. Google Maps, we proceeded to walk about this industrial estate for about 20 minutes. We didn't know where we were going. We were looking for this. We were looking for this eating place, this restaurant, and we're wandering round in circles until Paul realised that he'd actually put in Arcade Club into Google Maps. So we effectively left Arcade Club, and we were wandering around looking, and it was basically taking us back to where we'd just left. So anyway, I had to interject and use my Google Maps, and we we eventually got to where we were going. Where did we go? We went to Frankie and Benny's. Had a pizza. But this tale does not endeth there. So we we had a meal, and it was about 9 o'clock. And given that I had been on the go since I don't know what time it was, 5:45. I said to Paul, "Look, I'm absolutely knackered. So yeah, that's fine. We'll get a taxi." So I asked the wee girl in the Frankie and Benny's. I says, "Look, is there any chance of giving me a taxi phone number?" So she said, "Oh no, I'll phone up for you. Where are you going?" I says, "We're going to the Travelodge." And I did a quick Google Maps, 1.6 miles. I thought that'll be like £5 or something. So she phones up. She says, "Yep, got 2 guys here. Want a taxi? They're going to Travelodge. Like 10 minutes. That's fine." So we left and we hung about. We stood about for about 10-15 minutes, and a couple of taxis turned up. "Oh, taxi for Stuart?" No. So eventually this guy turns up in the taxi. So jumps in, and I'm like, "Taxi for Stuart?" He went, "Yeah." I says, "Travelodge?" "Right, that's fine." So then he proceeds to drive off, and then about, I don't know, 10 minutes later, he pulls up outside the Premier Inn, and then he stops, and I'm like, "It's the Travelodge, mate." And he's like, "Travelodge?" I says, "Yeah." I said, "Travelodge." And he started huffing and puffing. He was pissed off, and I said, "I did say to you, it's a Travelodge." And he's like, "Where's the Travelodge? Whereabout is the Travelodge?" And I felt like saying, "You're the bloody taxi driver, mate, not me. I'm a visitor. You live in the place. You're a taxi driver. You should know where you're going." So he goes, he says to me, "Get it up in Google Maps." So I had to go into Google Maps, and I says, "There it's there. Travelodge, blah, 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 blah." So at this point, there was about £5 on the meter. And then he eventually gets to Travelodge, and it came to like £8.50 or something. And he says to me, "Oh, just call it £8. And I just thought, wait a bloody minute, I told you where we were going, you took me to the wrong place, and you're making me pay for your fuck up, basically. And I think I'm right in saying, Paul, you could have probably cut the atmosphere with a knife. There was no like, normally when you're in a taxi, you're like, "How's your night going, mate? You busy? Or where have you been?" But this guy did not want to talk to us. That was quite clear. Possibly because I was Scottish. I don't know. I'm just laughing at what Paul said. Yeah, you would imagine that it's a prerequisite that taxi drivers have to have a rudimentary knowledge of the city. But you couldn't have made it up. We got 2 taxis, 1 taxi there, 1 taxi back, and not one of the fuckers knew where we were going. Apologies about the swearing, but yeah, so that was as awesome as Arcade Club was. I wasn't a fan of Bury. It's just I don't know, Paul. It was a bit of a laugh. But so then that's it. The following morning we got up nice and early. It was about 9 o'clock, and we yeah, you can't beat a bit of laughing, Milestar. Yeah, we what did we do? We went into not Burger King. We went into McDonald's, and we saw my mate Tony and James, Tony Temple, and I don't know James's second name actually, but they're both arcade whiz kids. So we chatted to them for about 20 minutes, and then we left, and I dropped Paul off. I think it was about 12:30. and then I got up the road. In fact, I had a really, really near miss. I was coming up the A68, and it was the A68. It's a real windy, windy road. Now, I generally don't overtake cars, but I was behind this one car which was going really, really, really slow, and I was looking in my mirror, and there was maybe 5 cars behind me. So I thought, right, I'm going to go for it, and I pulled out to overtake, and I was actually in the process of, I'd pulled out and I was just ready to floor it to get past them, and I glanced in my mirror, and there was a car firing up behind me, and I had to quickly hit the brakes and pull in. I mean, I was shitting myself. I was so close to getting taken out, so that was a bit scary. But yeah, I can't emphasise how good Arcade Club is. We are planning to go back down maybe a couple of months' time. I will let you guys know. I mean, I think it was 16 quid. Is that right, Paul? 16 quid to get in. And I think Paul would verify it's worth every penny. I mean, free games all day from like 11 until 11, so 12 hours of free gaming. You can't beat it at all. So yeah, I'm just looking at the comments. Spy Hunter, yeah, evening Greg. Yeah, it was a bit like that, buddy. Bet there's only one life in this one. Excuse me. Lacosa is saying, I once paid for a PC order in cash from a distributor £1,100 and paid in Scottish notes. After initially refusing to accept it, they then said they'd accept it, but wanted to charge 10% for conversion. Unbelievable. I've generally find, I remember I was down at Play Blackpool, it was last year, and I was buying a Dreamcast arcade stick, and I handed over 40 quid in Scottish notes, and the guy's like, have you not got anything else? I was, what do you mean it's 40 quid? And he went, well, these are Scottish notes. And I says, it's legal tender in the UK. And he went, oh, no. And I says, you know what, mate, just forget it. And I walked away, and he's like, oh, no, come back. Don't get it. Anyway, yeah, absolutely, Neil, we could definitely get down there. That would be nice. What we'll do is I'll mention when it's going to be. Maybe, I don't know, maybe April, something like that. We'll get a wee we'll get a road trip organised. We'll go down to Arcade Club. You need to get some hotels booked. There is a travel lodge 1.6 miles away, but you don't want to get a taxi there. Trust me. Right, listen, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up my questions. I mean, I've been talking for an hour. Bloody, how is it possible that I can just talk for an hour? Now, somebody actually mentioned to me, I can't remember who it was, somebody said that they'd actually downloaded, or they'd converted my waffle into an MP3. What I was going to ask on this, does anybody know, or would anybody be willing to host my Friday Waffles as MP3s and make them a podcast? Because at the end of the day, there is absolutely no reason to see me. There's no reason to see me at all. The Friday Waffle is me just talking shit, basically. And, I know a lot of people, I know Colin does that, people will be working and they'll just listen to it, because technically it is a podcast. So do any of you guys know how to do it? I know it's not that simple. Do any of you guys know how to set up podcasts? Would you be willing to help me do it? Set up a Main Meister podcast. I don't know. And then, upload my Friday Waffle as an MP3. If anybody's willing to help me, because we used to make podcasts for the computer club, and it was really, really good fun. But it's not that simple. But I think that would be the way to go with the Friday Waffle. It is, as much as people, I would use the term very loosely, like to watch it, then It would be nice to actually have as a podcast. I mean, it might get more people involved as well. So if anybody either knows how to do it, or well, Colin, you know what, buddy, if you'd be willing to look into it for me, ideally you'd want to get it put onto like Apple, iTunes, whatever it is, so that people can find it in the podcast. If you were willing to kind of help me with that, that would be absolutely fantastic. There was one other thing I was going to say. Yeah, talking about podcasts, if you don't, a podcast, Ian. What is a podcast? It's basically it's think of it as the radio. It's main meister for the radio. Yeah, that's all it is. But it's a pre-recorded radio channel. That's what it is. What was I talking about? Talking about podcasts. Does anybody listen to the Retro Hour podcast? If you don't, you absolutely need to go and do it. It's the same with the Retro Asylum. They do an excellent podcast. But I've been listening to a lot of Retro Hour podcasts, and they were actually talking to a guy, don't know his name, and he was basically the guy that invented the VIC-20. He was employed by Evening Addy Sneaker Freak. There was... I'm sure there is... Sorry, I'm just changing the subject. Colin's saying that you don't have much to do with Apple. Well, there are lots of podcasts. There must be other podcasts you can host elsewhere. If anybody knows or can help me or look into it for me, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, this guy was employed by Jack Tramiel, and to basically as a sort of marketing person. And this guy basically came up with the VIC-20, and he was heavily involved in the C64, and it's about an hour and a half, and this guy's just talking. You really need to listen to them. They're brilliant. They also had on, who did they have on? They had, I was going to say Jason Stratham. They had Jason from the Gadget Show, who I met down at, where was it again? Nerg. I was talking to him. I was actually videoing him playing Battlezone. But the Retro Hour podcasts are absolutely brilliant. They really are. And I says the Retro Asylum is definitely worth a listen as well. I've not listened to any of theirs for a wee while. I didn't know that Derek Van Das does podcasts. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Derek's videos. They're really good, really worth watching. Thanks, Colin. If you could do that, buddy, that would be excellent. I don't know, Paul. I don't know. As technically as you are setting up emulators, that's how technical I am when it comes to podcast stuff. I'm completely clueless. I mean, what I did do for a while, and then I completely forgot about it. I was converting my waffles into an MP3, and then I was posting a link. I was hosting it on my Google Drive thing, and then I was posting a link on the Friday Waffle. You need to keep it running. I don't know how that stopped working. What was I going to say? To have the podcast thing working, you really want to have it so that people can use podcast software. You don't want to have to go into YouTube and then click on a link and listen to it that way. You want to be able to go to a podcast, because ideally, if I was to come up with the Main Meister Friday Waffle podcast, then it would mean that people don't have to watch my channel, they could just actually listen to it. So any help with that would be absolutely splendiferous. Right, now, you know what? I was going to keep this to an hour, and it is an hour. It's an hour. Oh, well, there you go. Colin, perhaps you could look into SoundCloud, see how that works. If it's something that's easy to do, then I can do it, but I definitely need help. If you, Colin, are able to help me, look into how we can do it, and let me know. Addy Sneaky, is anyone here going to the YouTube Leeds meetup at Arcade Club on the 28th of March? I don't know. I didn't see. The thing is, it's not because I'm antisocial. I mean, I would say I'm a very, very social animal, but I don't have, apart from Lacosa, Lawn Boys post, Lactobacillus prime. I don't really, and like, you know, down the rabbit hole, I don't really get involved. I don't really get involved with. I watch a lot of other channels, but I don't really get involved. I think maybe I'm maybe just too good looking. I mean, too ugly or too old to get involved with other people. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much interaction with other YouTubers. And it's not because I'm antisocial. I just, nobody contacts me. Maybe it's because I'm Scottish. I don't know. I don't know. So to answer your question, no, I'm not going because I didn't know anything about it. Right, as Mr. Milestar has told us, we've got 3 minutes left. Well, it's actually 2 minutes left. I'm just thinking I will not answer any questions this week. Yeah, I think I don't want to, because I think there's quite a few questions. I think I'm going to leave that for next week, if that's okay. Does that sound like a plan? Yeah, I think it is. That's an hour's waffle. I've completely not mentioned. No, I did mention some video game stuff. I was talking about the Spectrum Next. Yeah, I think you know what? I've not even had my tea yet. Does anybody here call it tea, or is it dinner? Scottish people call it tea. Come in for your tea. Dinner is what English people call lunch, and tea is what English people call dinner, I think. Yeah. Anyway, right. Listen, guys. I think I'm going to call it a night. It's coming up to. It's going to be an hour, so I think that's quite enough for one evening. So, listen. Thanks very, very much for joining me this evening. Hopefully, I've not bored you too much. I'm hungry, so I want to go and get my tea. Yeah. Okay, guys, listen, have an absolutely ace weekend. What am I doing this weekend? I'm going to go to my first park run tomorrow morning. I've not been to park run for ages. I've been a lazy bastard, basically. I'm going to park run in the morning, and I'm meeting a mate tomorrow morning for breakfast. That's what you do when you get to an old bloke. Yeah, you go for breakfast. Just to answer Neil's question, Neil, I don't know, what about maybe Sunday evening? That would be wonderful. Come up on Sunday if you're free, and we can do. Neil is going to teach me how to solder. That's what he told me anyway. So, anyway, guys, listen, I'm going to stop talking shite. I've been Alan Stewart. You've been great. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching.